Mike Ventola, and joining me is men's basketball coach Brian Kennedy. And BK, first and foremost, welcome aboard. How are you?
Thanks, Mike. Happy to be here.
Of course, a pleasure to be speaking with you as well. And I know your team had a strong finish to the season, a big come-from-behind win over Upstate last Thursday evening. And, getting a chance to having won your past two games going into that first-round matchup against Lipscomb, how important was it to get those wins?
Very important. You always want to be playing your best basketball at the end of the season. For us, it's been a tale of three parts of our season. First was a non-conference schedule, and having challenging our guys to the toughest non-conference schedule in the history of the school, and they certainly were up to the test, playing some great teams like Minnesota and Temple down to the wire, and Purdue, a top 25 team in the Big Ten champs this year. So, and then the second part of our season was the conference. Obviously, got a little thrown upside down by the injury to Damon Lynn, and now the third part is finding ourselves, recovering from that, and getting ready for the conference tournament.
Absolutely, and now you're going to be on the road here in the ASUN quarterfinal, but and you've had a lot of close losses in conference play. I know games that could have gone either way, and when you think about the mental expectation of your team, and I know it's been getting stronger after those last couple of wins, but to pull those games back out in the final seconds, do you feel like your team has a chance, especially late in games, that they can take care of business and win?
For sure. It's been about getting over the mountaintop. We're a young team by the numbers here. We were replacing three starters from last year. So when Damon Lynn went down, we became an even younger team. So, and for 3 straight years, at the end of the game, there's been a very special player, number 5, with the ball in his hands, or, creating a lot. So, at first when Damon went down, we played a lot. The kids never gave up. They played tremendously hard. They gave the best effort, but a lot of times at the end of the game, they were looking over and, looking over for number 5 to take over, and he wasn't on the court. So they had to figure out how to make winning plays themselves. And I'm not talking about offensively. I'm talking about defensively, defensive stops, getting rebounds, et cetera, et cetera. And, that takes time, especially with young players. And if you look at our last 2 games, Riley Walsh was sophomore, hit a big 3, but before that, Anthony Tark, a freshman, played tremendous defense on Miles, their best player for Stetson, and had to stop that won the game. And then coming back here, Anthony again had 2 tremendous stops against USC Upstate's terrific player Michael Cunningham, and both defensive stops that a lot of people don't see. They see the offensive side, but they're both. It's a freshman, sophomore, guys out there making game-winning plays.
Mike Ventola, Brian Kennedy, as we're going to get a chance to kind of preview the ASUN quarterfinal. And speaking of that ASUN quarterfinal, you'll be going on the road once again, taking on Lipscomb. And I know you've had a chance to see them twice, 1-1, and then now getting a chance to see them again. So from film and having seen them twice this season, what do you think has been the key to Lipscomb's success here this year?
Lipscomb's a tremendous offensive team. They scored 50, I believe it was 56 points against Tennessee, an SEC school, in the first half of basketball. They beat Missouri at Missouri. And in this past game, their last regular season game of the year, they scored 62 points against Kennesaw in the first half. So they're a very powerful, very explosive offensive team. They move the ball tremendously. They have some very good individual talent there. So our key, which has been all year, is we need to defend, we need to rebound, and we need to limit our turnovers. And when we have those 3 things come together, our success has been pretty good. Pretty simple, but that's what I believe in coaching. We're a good offensive team. I think our offense takes care of itself, but we need to really have a defensive mindset going into this game. We need to rebound, and we need to limit our turnovers.
And I know, I'm sure for your guys, as they're preparing for this game, they're aware of what Lipscomb brings to the table. I know they've been a very good 3-point shooting team this year, as you've kind of hinted at as well. And I know they are tops in the country, especially when it comes to free throws as well. And, I know your team has been focused all year, and they have done their part. So how do you keep them along that line of being focused?
Well, it helps having 2 wins to end the year. But this is a team that's never given up. They've never lost belief in themselves, and my job is just to keep them going. And at at this time of the season, it's more mental preparation than physical preparation. And I think our guys are in a good frame of mind. We know we have a tremendously hard test to go down and beat a team like Lipscomb on their home court. But there's one thing for sure about this team is they will go down there and they will battle, and they've done that from the outset of this season, and have battled all the way through adversity, and in times that weren't too good, and they've never given up, and they've kept battling. And our last game is a perfect example. We're down 16 at halftime, and one of the reporters afterwards asked me what the mood was in the locker room. And it was a great question. Something I hadn't thought about, because our mood was great. We knew we needed to defend better. They shot the ball very well, but we knew we needed to have a better effect on them than in the second half. They probably weren't going to shoot 70%, close to 70% like they did in the first half. But we needed to, we also needed to have an effect on them more so than we did in the first half. And that was definitely, the formula to win that game.
I'm sure NJIT is going to look to battle here down the stretch and hopefully get a win over Lipscomb. But BK, as always, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be here with you, and all the best to our women's team on their tournament travels as well. So good luck with everything to Steve and our women's team.
Absolutely. So with that, that's BK. I'm Mike Ventola, and thanks for watching.